Hey guys. The last couple of weeks I've been embarking on sort of an adventure that you could just call a hyperfixation and we would be done with it, but I want it to be something more than something I spend my time on for about 3 weeks and then give up on. I have always struggled with feeling like I have purpose at the end of what I want to do. I knew that for a long time I wanted to be an engineer. Now, being an engineer is hard. It's very hard mathematical work in college, and I am dealing with those repercussions every day. But I found myself floundering a little bit in my last semester. Overall, I thought maybe engineering wasn't for me. I knew there were other things I wanted to do. I thought about being a psychologist for a while. I thought about being a lawyer even. And all those things are very noble professions, and I have full respect for them. And I very much considered switching my major to them. But I realized that I am an engineer at heart. There's something about it that I've always enjoyed, and there's something about it that would keep me encapsulated in work. Granted, I got through all the stupid amounts of math that come with it. So I realized something. It's not about having fun with your work in college, because you're going to be doing the work that you actually want to do later in life. You just have to get through college. You need to have something that keeps it real. You need to have something that keeps it interesting while you're going towards that end goal. And not to get political, but things are a little weird here in America right now. So, I started thinking, what other places can you do engineering? And first I looked at Ireland, because I always thought Ireland was pretty, and you can do engineering there, believe it or not. And then LinkedIn started showing me Berlin, Porsche, BMW, all those automotive companies over there. Turns out you could do engineering over in Europe too. And then out of nowhere I get an internship recommendation for Singapore Microsoft. And turns out you could do engineering there too. And I started to realize, hey, maybe there's more than Missouri out there. I decided to start this whole video thing because I wanted to document this and make myself actually really be accountable for it. I wanted other people to see my progress so I can also be held accountable by the world for my own lack of drive if I ever come to it. Because right now I am currently attempting an American engineering degree so I can move to Japan and work at automotive or mechanical or robotics, some form of mechanical engineering, CAD work design company over there, because it's a fascinating place. I think it's a very neat culture. There's a lot going on there that, doesn't go on here. Very beautiful landscape, great music. But there's a problem. I look like this guy, and I don't speak Japanese. Now, for a long time, I didn't have any interest in going out of the country because I thought America was the coolest place on the planet. And don't get me wrong, America has its perks, definitely compared to a lot of places in the world. But I do think that there's definitely room for traveling and experiencing other things, even for temporary amounts of time, and work is a great way to do that. Now, for a long time, I had no interest in going to Japan because I heard one or two stories from people that are pasty, to say the least, that came back from their travels to Japan and felt completely discriminated against. And for whatever reason, as a dumb kid, I took that as fact, as what happens when you go to Japan. And it took me until 20 years old to do a Google search and find out that is not the case. Just as it's probably not the case that, all of France hates foreigners. I mean, I'm sure there's a portion that do, but I'm sure there's a portion that don't. I think it's very subjective, the views that a lot of American society is cast upon other people in foreign countries, which is very American of us to do. Now, being 20 years old, I finally researched to determine maybe this place ain't as bad as what the 2 people I heard on Reddit in 2014 said. And it sounds like it is. So, I had to fix the problems that I can fix going into this. And that one problem is that I don't know how to speak their language. Now, there's no denying that it is a very difficult language to learn as an English speaker my entire life. I've lived in the South, and I've lived in the Midwest, and both of those regions are completely different in dialect, but all speak English. I've learned barely anything else in my entire life. I took French in high school, which did teach me quite a bit, but French, you could really guess pretty well by just doing basic sounding out with your English skills. So for that reason, I had to pick up a few things. I'm using a little cocktail of 3 services. Right now I'm using wacky to learn the kanji. I'm probably butchering everything I'm saying. I'm using Duolingo because it's Duolingo, it's got the bird. And I'm using a service called Busu, which is a Duolingo competitor. And you're probably like, oh, Connor, why are you using a Duolingo competitor and Duolingo? Because Duolingo kind of sucks. There's a lot of things about how Japanese works compared to English with grammar and sentence structure that you don't really get with Duolingo. You get a bunch of words and phrases, but Busu offers this sort of conversational entryway to get you on your feet, where you could say things like hajime mashite watashi wa mitakana desu. That's a sentence. Whether I said it good or not is up in the air. Having that ground laid for you instead of learning things like what a doctor is or the word sushi with Duolingo. I mean, Duolingo is great. It shows you the hiragana perfectly right out of the gate, which Busu did actually not. The two of them, when they coexist together, form a really good lesson plan. You actually can learn both the pronunciations of things through the romaji, while also learning how to read it pretty easily through Duolingo. And that's not to say that Busu doesn't let you learn to read, because they do. It just takes a little bit longer, and I kind of respect that. The two of them, at the same time, give me the equivalent of lazily taking an actual Japanese course, which is good. And wacky is great because it actually teaches you with mnemonics and everything the kanji to be able to read. And it feels very first grade, but it's a great time. I'm very much enjoying it. And I think that if you find yourself feeling like you are uninterested in whatever it is that you are doing, maybe you just need to take a different perspective on it. Maybe you need to find something small that you can pursue to continue your dreams so that it doesn't just fizzle out into nothing. There's always something out there that you can find to look forward to and work towards, and I think something like this for me is exactly what I needed. So I recommend, if you're not happy with where you are right now or what your job could get you in the current country you live in, look elsewhere, see what's out there, and just learn something new.